Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we have another educational video for you guys. And today we'll be looking into this one sector which we think could outperform the markets in the coming future, in the next couple of months to couple of years. So as you can see, the sector I'm talking about, as you can see on your screen, is Nifty Realty. So the realty sector could turn out to be the dark horse of 2021, and barring the possibility of a third wave of COVID-19, this could continue its run up. So on the daily charts, as you can see, it has outperformed markets quite significantly in the recent past, and this could continue outperforming the markets in the coming near future as well. So the factors that contributed to this main stellar rise in the realty stocks include work from home during the COVID-19, which pushed many families to buy big houses at low interest rates. So the low interest rates on the housing loans was also another factor which added to this. So the realty sector was one of the top performers also, as institutional investors deployed over $1.35 billion into the Indian real estate market. And the lower stamp duties in some states and reduction of debt by companies, and also increase in demand for both commercial and retail properties, have resulted in this stellar growth. And since the trend remains strong and smart money seems to be moving into this towards the unlock place, so as markets unlock and economy opens up, real estate could continue to be an outperformer. So we'll be looking at why this is so on a technical perspective, and also we'll be looking at three good stocks which have a high weightage in this Nifty Realty, which could lead the movement. So if you see what I'm talking about on the monthly charts, these are the monthly charts. So you can see there has been a consolidation for over 10 years. So this is where the consolidation began, and this, if you see, was in around 2010 to 2011. So 10 years markets have been consolidating in a range, and recently, as you can see, we have got a breakout candle. So these were the previous highs made, and we are currently in a breakout candle. There are 10 more days to go, about 10 more days, but you can see that the trend is quite strong and the price also moving well. And from a technical perspective, if you see, the next targets are around this 500 range, so that is a 27 to 30% gain in the index. So if the index is moving 30%, you can expect certain stronger stocks in this sector to move by at least 50 to 60% in the coming few months, and we'll be looking into some of those stocks. So we will be looking into the fundamentals as well as from a technical perspective as well. So first, let's start the fundamental analysis. And disclaimer, this video is being made for educational purposes only and is not to be taken as financial advice. So the first stock, DLF Limited, currently trading at 330 rupees, and this is the biggest stock in the Nifty Realty with the highest weightage and also with the highest market cap as well. So the DLF stands for Delhi Land and Finance. It is a commercial real estate developer, and the company's IPO back in July 2007 was India's biggest IPO in its history. And with a profit expected to more than double over the next couple of years, the future seems bright for DLF, and that will also see soon is also being reflected in the prices as well. And seems like the market has well and truly priced in DLF's positive outlook, with shares trading above industry price multiples. So the P by E ratio, the profit by earnings ratio of this particular stock, is slightly or is on the higher side compared to the sector PE. Now let's look at the financial statements. So the revenue, as you can see, was a standout in financial year 18, but barring that, you can see has more or less remained constant, but then we saw a huge drop off in the last 1 or 2 years, and this obviously was mainly due to COVID. And commercial, as I told you, as I previously mentioned, this is a commercial real estate developer, and commercial real estate buildings were the most affected by the COVID lockdowns, right? And not mainly the residential ones, commercial even more so, as offices emptied out and we moved to work from home. And that is why you can see a steep fall in revenues, but markets are expecting a bounce back from here and a V-shaped recovery. And EPS, earnings per share, also you can see had remained constant, but for 1 year in the last year they went into negatives because obviously again because of COVID, but then we have bounced back with a positive EPS, and dividend per share has pretty much remained the same. And over the last 5 years, revenue has grown at a yearly rate of minus 10.92% against an industry average of minus 3.42. So whole industry also fell, but this fell more relatively over the last 5 years. And net income has grown at a yearly rate of 9.78% against industry average of minus 11.15%. So even though the revenues have decreased, you can see there is an improvement in the net income. So basically the net profit, which indicates that the margins have drastically improved over the last 5 years. And if you see the free cash flow is, I would say, the most important aspect, even more important than your revenues or your net profit or anything. The free cash flow is the most important aspect. And you can have an on paper profitable company, but if your free cash flow is negative, then there is no point, right? Or making on paper profits is not, there's no point to that. And you can see the free cash flow was negative, and in the recent past they have turned into positive. So that is a very good sign for a company coming out from a negative cash flow to a positive net free cash flow. And over the last 5 years, market share has decreased from 19% to 13%, and we will be seeing in the next slides why did this happen and what were the other competition that had entered the market. And the PE ratio, which I was talking about, is 167 compared to the sector PE, as in of all the companies combined, of 83. So as we talked about, this is trading at slightly a higher valuation compared to the other companies, and even that we'll see the reason behind that why soon in the next slides. And buyers today are looking at the credibility of the developer, and this is the reason, not the next slide, this slide only. Buyers today are looking at the credibility of the developer, and we are seeing the relative increase in the share of the credible or the bigger developers. So the big DLF, as I told you, is the biggest realty company in this sector, and because of this, because the buyers are looking for a brand name over let's say a cheaper product, so that is why the P by E of P, these are trading at higher valuations. Now the second stock, we have Oberoi Realty, currently trading at around 700, and this is a premium real estate developers in Mumbai, and they are mainly into construction, real estate development and hospitality, and mainly on the residential side. So as we saw, DLF was on the commercial side and Oberoi is on the residential side. So before we go deeper into the fundamentals of Oberoi, let's see the technicals of DLF as well as Oberoi first. So if we look at the charts, so let's go to DLF. So DLF, a very similar chart to CNX Realty or Rifty Realty where we saw, and it will be similar, right? Because this holds about 25 to 30% weightage. Now let's go to the weekly charts first. And on the weekly charts, you can see this was a major resistance right here. And price is currently testing that. And if you see properly, you could also observe a kind of head and shoulders pattern going on right here. And going from technical targets purely, for head and shoulder, by definition, the target is the height of this head, right? So head is 40%, as you can see, of 92. If you take 92 from here, let's say the trend, so this approximate trend line of the head and shoulder has been broken, and a 92 point gain from here would mean about 30%. So as we saw in Nifty Realty as well, it was 30%, and here also we are seeing good possible gains of 30% again. So this was the from a technical perspective from DLF. And if we go on to Oberoi Realty, so on the monthly charts, if you see, this is a new stock, came recently, so there is no past history before the 2011 phase, which we were discussing about, but you can see the momentum is quite strong compared to DLF also. And just if you observe here, this was a past resistance which had been tested multiple times, and it is broken through, and it is going up quite quickly, like so 7%, 5% and 3%. So these are good strong candles being formed, and the momentum is quite strong in this on this counter, and we could expect markets to head higher in this as well. Now let's go back to our PPT. Now let's look at the financials of Oberoi Realty. Now the revenues, as you can see, have steadily improved. On contrasting to DLF, the revenues here have improved quite significantly, and that is also being reflected in the charts. As I showed you, the price movement is quite stronger and more bullish compared to DLF. Net incomes have also been improving. We can bar this financial year 20, right? So that this one single year you can take as an exception, but barring that, you can see the margins have also were decreasing from 35% went down to 30 and 31, but then they have bounced back again strongly. So going ahead in the future also, we are expecting these margins to remain more or less the same or go in the positive direction but not decrease. Greater than or equal to is anything but good, because the revenues are also bound to improve from here. And over the last 5 years, revenues have grown at 7.5%, whereas the industry average, the growth was in negative 3.42%. And over the last 5 years, net income has also grown at 11% compared to industry average of minus 11%. So in the recent past, even though the sector was down, you can see this stock or this company has considerably outperformed the sector. And next, if we go into, these are the balance sheets. Now total assets more or less the same, slightly increasing, nothing much to be noted. And total liabilities are also decreasing. So from 4,000 they have come all the way down to 2,600. So assets have just increased slightly by 10 to 15% in the last 4 years, but you can see there is a major cut down in the liabilities, and the liabilities are basically the loans and the debt. So the debt coming down is obviously a very crucial factor, especially for a realty stock, which are high debt sectors. These are always operating on debt. So over the last 5 years, market share of this has increased from 2.62 to 4.64. So almost increased by 70 to 80%, whereas we have observed a decrease in the market share in the case of DLF. So this has quite significantly outperformed its realty sector in the past few years. In the last 4 to 5 years to be more precise, right? And that is also, as we saw on the charts, a stronger chart is also signifying that. Now the third company, Godrej Properties, also a very good major company in this sector, and with a current market price of around 1577. So first let's look at what the company is. So Godrej Properties is a real estate company, a subsidiary of the Godrej Industries that we know. They are into many businesses, as we all know, and with an estimated 10 million Indians moving into the urban areas annually, the country's urban landscape is likely to change dramatically in the coming decades. And the company firmly believes that India must seize on the opportunity to urbanize in a sustainable manner. So what this means is, this company is basically banking on a lot of population moving into the urban areas, and obviously if more and more population comes, they will demand more housing and more commercial space, right? So this is where the growth opportunity mainly is for this particular company. And it also plans to invest more than $1 billion over the next couple of years to acquire and develop new project as part of its target to achieve higher growth. So this is more of a growth investing opportunity and not quite a value investing opportunity, because if I show you the financials, if you just see the raw financials, they may seem quite off or quite weak, but if you see the technical chart, it is quite bullish, and also the growth opportunity in this is quite huge because of these investments and also the market share which they are trying to capture. So that is the whole perspective from a valuations perspective behind the stock, and not just the financials. So if you observe the financials, revenues have gone down significantly over the last 4 years. It was just 1333 came out, and the net income was also positive before increasing well, and then they fell off into a loss. So from a net profit making company into going into a net loss making company is obviously a big hit, right? And the EPS also, as you can see, was steadily increasing before and has fallen into the negatives in financial year 21. And over the last 5 years, revenues have fallen at 10%, whereas the industry average, as we discussed, had fallen at just 3%. So in the recent past, yes, this has underperformed the sector, but again, as I told you, this is more of a growth investment and hoping for faster growth. And the current assets, if you can see, have increased significantly. The current assets are basically cash and other forms of cash which can be liquidated easily, and that increase is being shown in the total assets as well. Total assets is just current assets plus your fixed assets. Fixed assets are basically your buildings and other etc. And non-current liabilities is one thing we have to keep our eye on. So non-current liabilities is basically the short-term debt, not the long-term debt. The short-term debt was pretty much around this level for quite a long time, decreased significantly, and because of the COVID pandemic, they have taken on huge debt to remain afloat. So this debt is something which will pose a high risk to the company going forward and needs to be kept in mind. And free cash flows also, from a positive free cash flow to have turned into a negative free cash flow company. And as I told you, free cash flows are very crucial for a firm, and until and unless this can be changed. And so basically this is kind of a hoping for a turnaround story, and it is quite possible, right? Because the management is quite strong, and Godrej, as you all know, is a very big firm in the country. So this turnaround story is quite probable to happen. And over the last 5 years, debt to equity ratio has been at 155% compared to the industry average of 80%. So as I told you, this debt they have taken on, the short-term debt, so that is quite huge and significant compared to even the industry averages. Even though the industry is a debt-ridden industry, but still this particular firm is highly debt-ridden. And over the last 5 years, current ratio has also been higher than the industry average, has been lower, my bad. So current ratio again signifies your liquidity, and that has also been lower. So that's it for the fundamental analysis of Godrej. Let's just look at the technical analysis of Godrej before we end this video. And Godrej Properties, if you see on the weekly charts, you can see, as I told you, there has been a huge increase in the stock in recent times. Even though the financials are not quite reflecting this, you can see the price has been quite strong, and this was mainly, as I told you, because of this is mainly growth investing coming from investors, and not necessarily just value investing from the investors. So if you can see on the weekly charts, prices, given a strong move, retraced exactly till the 0.382 level where there was a previous resistance which turned into support, and again price is showing good momentum here. So we are currently at all-time highs, and if I go into the daily time frames as well, you can see this was the previous all-time high, and it seems to have been broken on the last day of trading. So again, if these highs are broken, again obviously you can expect good momentum from here as well. This is basically from a short-term perspective for the coming few months, but as a long-term perspective, we also saw the fundamental side of this. So that's it for today. Hope this video helps you, and thank you. Please like, share and subscribe if you liked it as well.